in peak physical condition.
More like peak of shit mountain.
Shit Mountain's not real. She made it up.
Hey, what's up everyone? So, MODOK is a stop-motion, animated, adult-oriented Marvel show. MODOK stands for Mental Organism Designed Only for Killing, for whatever reason the F isn't in the acronym. But MODOK is this super intelligent being. He's like a big giant head person, like in a hover chair. And he's a Marvel character. He's mainly an Avengers villain. And for whatever reason, someone decided that, hey, it'd be cool if we gave him his own show. So the show follows MODOK being in charge of AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics, which is kind of like this evil scientist organization where they believe, you know, technology is amazing and they fucking love it, and they didn't want to do evil with it, essentially. Simplification, but that's essentially what it is. Anyway, in this show, we follow MODOK, who is in charge of AIM, like I said, and in the beginning of it, he's like about to take over the world, I guess, or about to take down the shield, and Iron Man shows up and stops him, and we start learning about him. So, you know, we learn that his organization, AIM, is bankrupt. We learn that he has a family, and his situation with his family is not so good. His wife, Jody, does care about him, but they're having marital issues. Like, she thinks he doesn't listen to him and all kinds of stuff. And his kids, like, he loves his kids, but they also don't really connect with him, or he doesn't really connect with them. So in the first episode, his company goes bankrupt, and I believe, maybe in the first or second episode, but he goes through a separation with his wife. And in the first episode, this company, it's kind of like Google. I can't remember what it's called. I'm sure I'll remember it. Anyway, they end up, Woggle, I think it is, not Woggle? Shit. Anyway, they end up buying, or investing in the company, so they end up owning the company. So while AIM still exists throughout the show, it's owned by this new tech company, and MODOK doesn't really have a lot of power within it. So pretty much the show is MODOK trying to get power over his company again, or AIM again, and reconnecting and, you know, getting together, fixing his family problems, essentially. That's pretty much the premise of the show. So every episode he's coming up with some kind of scheme or whatever that he can't get done because the new tech company is getting in his way. So they're just trying to get rid of the, you know, that big tech guru guy, Aaron, I believe his name is. Aaron something, he has like a long name. Or, you know, trying to reconnect with his family. And essentially that's like every episode. There's a underlying longer plot where this tech company has like a shadowy organization that's evil that gets resolved before the last episode. It's actually a pretty good show. It's mainly comedy, a little drama. It's very interesting because I've never really liked MODOK as a character, especially in the comics. He's fine. I don't have, you know, I love the comics, Marvel, but I've never really cared for him, and there's not really a story where I'm just like, oh, he was so amazing in it, or anything like that. But he's a fine villain, and this was just an interesting thing they did. Pretty good comedy, pretty good drama, like I said, and it has good moments here and there. The comedy is throughout, and, you know, for the most part, it's very, very good. I fairly enjoyed it. It's only 10 episodes long, so it wasn't too bad. The show ends in a cliffhanger, which I don't know if it'll get a second season, because this was one show of like 4, I believe, that they were going to make originally, but the other 3 got canceled. It was like Hit Monkey, and I don't remember what the other 2 were, but those ones got canceled, and I guess this one was far enough in development that it didn't get canceled, and I guess it probably depends if it does really well or not, and, you know, if they'll get a second season, but it does end in a cliffhanger. So overall, like I said, it's a fine show. It's very interesting, funny, some interesting character dynamics. I ended up liking the characters by the end, so that is saying something. But, you know, the comedy could have used a little bit more work. I felt like it could have used a little bit more energy. I felt like sometimes it was just kind of a little bit slow-paced, and it lost my attention for a little bit, but overall it was fantastic. I give the show a 7 out of 10. I say go check it out. It's on Hulu, so if you have Hulu, you don't really have a reason not to watch it. And there's not a lot of shows like this that are stop motion and adult oriented. I think I can only think of one show right now that is stop motion. I mean, we've had a few movies thanks to Leica, but shows that are stop motion are few and far between. I can't even think of many. Like the PJs is a show. Robot Chicken, of course, is the one that's still semi-going right now. I think there's only animated shows that I can think of that have been stop motion. I know there have been more, but I can't think of them. That's how few there are and how little impact they've had, I guess. Maybe there's bigger ones that I just can't remember. Let me know in the comments below. So I want to talk quick spoilers real fast. So if you haven't watched it, get out of here. Like I said, it's a 7 out of 10. Go watch it if you haven't. It's pretty good. It's not gonna hurt you. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Spoilers. Okay, so throughout the show, I think it's in the second episode, MODOK and his wife go back in time and they meet his younger self, and they actually send him through time, and he becomes like a space or time anomaly. He has like a bunch of crystals in his head that keep him from. He just like exists outside of time essentially. So in the end of the episode, or throughout the season, he's been showing up trying to, get rid of MODOK's family so he can get him back on course. And then the last episode, he shows up at his son's Lou's bar mitzvah. Sorry. And he has this giant robot, and like time freezes when he's about to shoot missiles at his family. And MODOK's just like, "What are you doing, man? You don't kill my family. They're very important to me. I love them and everything like that." He's like, "If you ever want to conquer the world like you've been dreaming of, you need to get rid of your family." And MODOK's like, "No, that's impossible. I should be able to have my family and take over the world at the same time." So this other MODOK, anomaly, I think he called himself, takes him through time and shows him all kinds of various events where he dies, fighting the Avengers several times. He dies on the toilet a bunch of times. But he's like, "Why do you keep showing me this?" He's like, "Well, in every world you failed except for one." He's like, "Your family is important, because you actually love them, and when they die, that hatred, that resentment, everything bottled up inside of you from them dying is what drives you to take over the world." So he shows them this world where he has conquered it, and he takes over. And then they go back to the present day where the missile's about to hit his family. He's like, I can't let my family do it. And the other MODOK's like, "Well, let me do it." So he ends up letting his family die. Because we flash forward to the future where he's in this world where he has conquered the world because his family dies. And then we learn he's very unhappy, and he's using the other MODOK, the time MODOK, to try to figure out a way how to save his family. He's like, "You can't have it all. You can't have your family and rule the world." And the MODOK's just like, "I will have it all. I will have my family. I will have, the world." And he's like, "I will figure out how to do it." And that's essentially where it ends, which is kind of really, really dark that he lets his family die. And it kind of makes sense. He does care for his family, but he seems like this asshole who would let them die and then be like, regret it later. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to take over the world." And then he's just not happy because his family makes him happy. The idea of ruling the world is one of those things where he thinks he will be happy, but he's just miserable without his family. So he thinks if he has both, he'll be happy, but it's just like he really just needs his family. And, if the show continues, we'll probably learn that. But who knows, like I said, I don't know if we're going to get a second season. So I just want to talk about that. I thought it was a very dark ending, and I hope it gets one more season at least. I think it deserves it. The animators and everyone who worked on this show did fantastic. These stop motion models look amazing and very cool. You can see some of the behind scenes stuff on YouTube. I don't know if Hulu has them. They probably do. But anyway, I would say check it out. Alright, that's it. If you watched it, what do you think? Do you think Marvel should make more adult-oriented shows like this? I know they were talking about in the past making a Deadpool one, at least Fox was. You think Marvel should go ahead and try to make an attempt to make the Deadpool show or something else, maybe Wolverine? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.